A&M obviously in person. You didn't play them, but you saw how good they can be in their size and some of the things. What do you make of the matchup?
Well, they're athletic and they play really really hard, and I think it looks to me, they've won a bunch in a row now, and they solved a lot of problems that they maybe had in Myrtle Beach. And Buzz is a great coach, and they got terrific players. So we're gonna have to go down there and really really play well.
I know it's obvious answering the question, but the next two Saturdays here, you got two
Yeah.
quad one opportunities.
Yeah.
I know you scheduled hard for a reason, but
Yeah.
these are games that, as you say, could be feather in the cap come March.
Yeah, they're tough ones, no doubt about it. And we're not looking ahead past this one, obviously. And like I said, we're going to have to go down there and play one of our better games, maybe one of our best to compete and to be on the there in the end in this one. And because I watched them last night again. They played SMU and they were terrific, and they won by as many as they wanted to. So. They've really, really improved since Myrtle. That's what those tournaments are for, and they took that and really found a way and found what they're doing, and they've settled in nicely.
I know that. I mean, you've kind of been scheduling this way for a while, but the way you've scheduled definitely has evolved since you've been here. Why does this testing your guys' self so early in the season work so well for you? You feel?
Well, I know what the month of November did for us. It made us have to really tighten the screws down and get a lot better. There was no build up to it really. And starting with South Dakota State, a team that won 30 games last year. And so, yeah, there's a part of me that would have loved what some other schools do is, they play a ton of home games and then they just gradually maybe get their competition a little bit better. And, there's a lot of different ways to do it. But with this team, we do have some veterans that are playing. The problem is we got a lot of guys that don't know what they're doing yet and haven't had the game experience. And I haven't been able to get them the experience I'd like to be able to get them.
I mean, it's a silly question, but how does that happen? How do you find opportunity? I mean,
well, it just
they got to kind of create.
Yeah, they really do, and I mean, we have a job to do when we get there, and it's not to keep everybody happy, and it's not to try to get everybody equal minutes. It's to accomplish a mission and get the job done. And so these guys, they have to take advantage of practice, and the season's long, and we're going to need that group. And I've seen some development and I've seen some growth. We just haven't had a chance to see all of them out on the floor yet. And the ones that, like, I thought Jace was crucial in our last game. I mean, that was huge for our bench and for him to come off and provide the spark that he provided and make the plays that he made. And he stepped up and when we needed him. So I was really pleased at that.
You guys continue to move up the defensive scoring rankings. Are you guys developing a defense-first identity?
I think we know what won us the league last year, and so it started, when we started in the fall. That was our priority, no doubt about it. And things, different teams grow at different stages with what they're good at, and that was something we hung our hat on. And we, like I said, the guys that are playing from last year know what we're doing. Now we had some errors in that last game with some guys that haven't played a lot, so we got to get them up to speed so we're all on the same page defensively too. Because, if we were in a perfect world, we could have held them to about 10 points less, maybe. But that's just coach being a coach. But I like where we are defensively. I mean, the numbers, it's crazy. You get done with the game and you look at the score sheet and you're like, oh my gosh, we held them to 45 points or 48 points, or that's pretty impressive. And these guys are doing a great job with that.
And on the flip side, you probably look at it and it's crazy to see you scored 55. I mean, do you think?
Well, when you look at that too, it could have so easily been 60-61. We missed two front ends, and then that was 5 free throws in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That should have been. It should have been. Play poorly on offense and still had 60 if you make your free throws, and like I said, 2 front ends and 2 of our best shooters.
But
So,
I think assuming you think there's a lot offensively you guys can still get to.
oh.
Right?
Well, I'd hope so at 55. Yeah, 55 points. That's no doubt. And I think you peeked into it the game before. We were really good offensively and against a good team. And had we not been really good offensively that night, we would have, because that we weren't holding that team to 45 points. They could really score Utah Valley. So, but that's what I'm really proud of these guys about. That last year's team didn't win this game. We were in this same game last year, just different names on the jerseys, and we didn't get it done. This team got it done. So I was, you got to celebrate that, and you got to. I'm watching games all over the country. There's highs and lows for teams that, you see them playing at the highest level, and then the next night, they're struggling, against maybe a quote unquote not good team. I think you saw one of the top 5 teams in the nation have to struggle last night to go against a 1-7 team. So that happens. You're going to have A+ games. You're going to have B+ games. You're going to have C games. You just got to find a way to do it when you have those tough ones.
Going back to the game over the weekend, Sada got a couple of nice offensive rebounds for you where he kind of showed off his length. What'd you think of those plays, and both resulted in second chance points for you guys?
No, he's doing a great job. He's another guy I have to find a way to get, but he has to deliver. He can't dribble in and fall down the first possession. When the team's being physical, you got to be able to be tougher with the ball, and those are things he's learning. But he's a guy that he's got a lot of promise and a lot of things that can help this team. We got to keep developing him.
How pleased have you been with what you've gotten from Marcus? He says he doesn't even think he's playing that good, and he's like the only player in the nation averaging his stat line right now.
I would agree with him. Absolutely agree with him. Now, I don't want him to, he's a bit of a perfectionist. So it's both. I want him striving for more. I want him getting better. We'll get him better, and he'll do it because of that. But he's done some pretty amazing statistical things. And he's right, though. He's just scratching the surface in my mind.
Obviously, getting your shot as a 1 is different than working off the ball as a 2. How is he kind of learning that, I guess?
Yeah, that's an adjustment, no doubt. And it's a mindset, and it's that takes time. And I think he's getting more and more comfortable with it. And we have to get where we can get him both. And, our team's learning that, and he's learning that. And we have some, we do it with film. We talk about it. We work on it in practice. There's a lot that goes into it. But there's also, I've got so many moving parts that it would be an easy problem if that was just the one thing you had to fix. But I'm trying to figure out combinations I can have out there. That I'm trying to figure out minutes that I can take away from, some of these guys there's a reason why maybe they're not shooting as good as they could, because I'm probably running their legs off a little bit. So I got to find a way to do better with that. And doesn't mean I'm going to play 11 guys. That's not it. I'm usually play 7.7. And that's probably what this team will evolve to as we go forward. But that being said, I have to get those guys. I have to do a better job of getting them rest around the media timeouts and things like that, and that'll pay off, in the long run. And I really do believe that some of our missed shots have been fatigue misses.
Well, I was going to kind of follow that up, looking at it. I think that there are minutes played, and some minutes played are harder. It seems to me that the minutes played at the point for him. And when you have Degenhart playing the 5, it looks like those are harder minutes than when they play the 2 and the 4.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Bob, because, both of those guys, they're doing some. And so that's where it helped Marcus, I think, to have Jace out there in that game. And then, he can just do his thing, and then you still have a great shooter out there and a great penetrator. And now it gives you 2 guys that kind of get to the paint. And then when you put Max in as a smaller group, you got more guys that can get there.
You guys worked with this. I think the Houston game a couple years ago was with the same company or whatever to set
Yeah.
this tournament up. But what in terms of just A&M in general, is there a connection with Buzz or how this game gets set up?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, Bernie just grinds and grinds scheduling, and we were looking for neutral court games, and this is a great one. That's a cool place, good arena. We played there before. It's nice, really nice, and it was brand new last time we played in it, and it's a good doubleheader. You got St. Mary's and Houston afterwards, and so it's a good event and a good opportunity.
In terms of the neutral site, though, do you still expect, obviously, A&M will have, it's a neutral site, but do you
Well,
it's a couple-hour drive, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's more A&M fans in Texas than there's Boise, but maybe all those Dallas Cowboy fans will slide over the night before their game. Who knows? I don't know.
I know you said something about Andy after the last game, but Tyson Degenhart won the Freshman of the Week award so many times last year they probably should just name the award after him. He won the award. Taylor Green wins Freshman of the Year award. Just to look at the future of Boise State athletics with
Yeah.
those guys. How cool is that?
It is great. I mean, when you're getting freshman of the year, that's pretty impressive, and you know, does as a coach. Then you have kind of a cornerstone to build your program. You know, and we are both development. You look at football and you look at us. We're both development programs. That's what we do. Those great teams here. I mean, there were 20% Idaho kids that they developed, guys from little ranches that nobody knew and became, you know, NFL players. And you don't do that without player development, and that takes time. But when you have a cornerstone guy who's like, oh, this is one of the best players in the league as a freshman, it makes it easier to build around. And then you know what you have in that spot, so that's good. And then you can go out and get the compliments for that. And, you know, that's what we're going to continue to do. We got some great sophomores right now that we've added, you know, that added with Tyson. And it's a really good nucleus there.
One more Marcus question. He ranks in the top 20 in the nation in total steals. Why is he so good at getting his hands on the ball?
Well, he just knows our system. And, you know, we say it on both ends, really. If you learn the system will set you free, because then you don't have to think. Then you're in the right spots. When you're in the right spots, the ball's going to come to you. And then he's got great instincts and great hands. And you know, he's quick. He can go from point A to point B fast and change speeds. And that, you know, I think both he and Max, they're smart players that know where the ball's going and really understand the system. And when they do that, a lot of time the ball will find them.